It's 5 a.m. on a training holiday, and Army Private Nicole Walder begins her day. Unlike many soldiers in the area, she doesn't get this day off. While you're sleeping in, she begins the morning just like any other. She's hard at work at the 44th Signal Battalion's dining facility on Sullivan Barracks.
Well, I love my shift. I wouldn't change it. They're some of the greatest people to work with.
Making pancakes, eggs, and French toast may seem easy, but since the Army never sleeps, neither do the cooks.
You do have to work weekends and you work holidays, and we don't get as much time off as everybody else does.
Private Walder has worked here for a year. In that time, she has come a long way.
She can knock out mainline by herself. When I talk about mainline, she can cook a whole meal by herself. She's really outstanding soldier.
Morning, sir.
Cooking a meal for hundreds isn't easy, but it's the interaction with the troops that keeps her going.
Actually, I like the customers. They keep me busy.
Breakfast is finished, but Private Walder's day is far from over. It's time to clean up and prepare for lunch. All part of the life of an Army chef. From Mannheim, Germany, Specialist Steve Satkowski, AFN News. This is what a hangar normally looks like, but today it's being transformed into a concert hall for Nick and Jessica's tour of duty concert.
As you can see here, we're currently in the actual production phase, which is where we have production crew as well as staff. So that's a rather large number. That can be anywhere between 100 and 150 people. So by show night, we're usually talking around 200 people.
They will work until everything is set up just right. With showtime closing in, it's a job with a lot of responsibility.
It's a well-oiled machine. All these people coming together and working. So to see this transformed in such a short period of time is simply amazing.
Bringing today's stars to the military is a long and arduous process. It's seeing the final result that makes it all worthwhile.
The world we live in is the world of entertainment. It's not the world of warplanes. It's not the world of military maneuvers. So, the best that we can do is entertain. And when 5,000 people, start jumping up and down on Friday night, I'm going to feel as if we've done our job properly.
The show kicks off at 7:30. Reporting from Ramstein Air Base, Army Sergeant Steve Satkowski, AFN News. The close cooperation and friendly relations between the German police and the military community in Mannheim has a long tradition lasting decades. Following the attacks of September the 11th, it's a relationship that has become even closer.
After September the 11th, 2001, we intensified the force protection cooperation with the military authorities considerably. Therefore, in these times of crisis, we can rely on plans that have already been tested and proven to be effective.
The German police protect the military community and our installations in numerous ways. They provide personnel to assist with vehicle controls on the outer perimeter, patrols inside the perimeter, in vehicles, on foot, and mounted patrols. In addition, military police meet frequently with the Polizei to discuss how to improve force protection, and the importance of these meetings is not lost on the military police.
We couldn't do our job and support our communities on the inside and our folks that live outside the community without the Polizei, and we probably have the best relationship of anybody in USERA.
By coordinating with the German Polizei, the military police get a better understanding of our host nation. But more important, it's this teamwork that protects us all. From Heidelberg, Germany, Specialist Steve Satkowski, AFN News. A rocket-propelled grenade hits this C-130 as it lands. During this mass casualty event, time is of the essence.
This prepares us for war. This prepares us for any time we go downrange and we have to battle anything like this, respond to any kind of incident like this.
Dozens of severely injured litter the flight line. It's up to these service members to save them. If they don't work together, many will not survive.
I feel we worked perfect as a team. We had good communication and hustle. this is just another step. And every time we do something like this is how we judge our performance. So we're moving in the right direction.
With everyone on the same page, the situation stabilizes.
I think everybody cooperated perfectly. They were definitely in sync. A lot of folks talked to each other. There's good communication, good command and control.
Exercises like these will continue throughout the year, so the Kaiserslautern military community remains ready for anything that comes its way. Army Sergeant Steve Satkowski, Ramstein. Enter Bellemare Water Park in Schwetzingen, and the first thing you'll notice is the huge pool in the middle of the complex. On this day, it's where most of the people went. I asked one employee why.
You have the main benefit because you can swim down deep, get everything you can do in the pool.
Popular with the elderly and the young, the 25-meter pool is the centerpiece inside Bellemare.
And here in the big pool we have every week, we have twice a week, water gymnastics, water sports, so keeps you in shape.
Visiting one of the saunas can also keep you fit. Adults looking to trim down and relax can pick one of 3 saunas ranging from 70 to 90 degrees. Bellemare is also a place well liked by kids.
Well, the children have the pool that's not so deep. They have the different slides. And, I mean, they run around constantly. They're not supposed to, but they do run around. No, then they meet a lot of other kids. And I think for American kids to come in contact with the German kids to learn the culture is good.
After swimming laps and going to the sauna, you've probably built up a big appetite. That's where Bellemare's restaurant comes in. Next to the big pool, the eatery has standard fare, including chicken, hamburgers, and ham. Whether going to get in shape or to have a good time, Bellemare Water Park gives adults and kids the chance to get away from it all. Reporting from Schwetzingen, Germany, Specialist Steve Satkowski, AFN News. It will change how you look at things. Lighter, durable, flexible. It's the future of the Army.
Feels comfortable on your shoulders.
Right away, it's how it fits in my hand, you know, how it feels.
Everything was sealed off. The carbon was coming out the front instead of getting built up in the weapons.
We wouldn't be spending as much time in the arms room cleaning weapons. We'd be able to spend our time down in the motor pool working.
The new XM8 weapon gives the soldier benefits the warfighter has never seen before.
If it takes him to Afghanistan, then he can quickly change out the barrels, providing him a longer barrel. And a shorter barrel for mountain environments such as Baghdad and other areas as well. I just ran out of ammunition, okay? I'm still up in the sight picture. I dropped the magazine, I replaced the magazine, and I move it forward. My firing hand remains on the trigger. My free working hand does all the components.
More practical.
Works around the commander's plan. It doesn't limit the commander, it enhances the commander, giving him all the options available.
Easier to handle.
As he tries to take his front hand guards, mine's already done.
Durable.
I've had soldiers for the last 3 days sitting here stamping on them, kicking them, trying to destroy them, and actually, as you can see, they're in pretty good shape.
The XM8 will replace the M16, M4, and 10-inch barrel. Deploying units will be the first to get the weapons. From Heidelberg, Germany, Army Sergeant Steve Satkowski, AFN News. An explosion rocks the area. Poisonous gas fills the air. Emergency response teams treat a steady flow of walking wounded. It may not be real this time, but training like it is keeps these soldiers prepared.
It helps us a lot with identifying certain types of chemicals and being able to work as a team to get the most amount and the effectiveness of our capabilities to treat patients.
Evaluators keep close eyes on each team member, documenting everything, leaving nothing to chance.
Here you can maybe let your guard down, but that's my role out here is not to let them joke around with each other and talk about the ball game or what have you. Keep them focused on what they're here for.
Exercise Director Major Ken Shaw was pleased with how the soldiers performed under pressure.
The training went well. We learned a lot today, and we learned how to prepare for anything in the future.
And with an unpredictable future, there's only one way to improve and stay prepared.
practice makes perfect. I mean, if we just continue to do it, I think that's the best thing.
From Heidelberg, Germany, Army Sergeant Steve Satkowski, AFN News. U.S. military installations in Germany have had their fair share of peace protesters lately. In Mannheim, protesters are frequently seen outside the gates of Coleman, Taylor, or Spinelli barracks. When the protesters gather, the Polizei are usually nearby, keeping an eye on the situation.
As much as possible, the German police will attempt to de-escalate the situation, and the reason is that we want to avoid it getting out of control.
According to German law, the Polizei must negotiate with the protesters. The negotiations end as soon as the protesters block all entrances to an installation or harass a service member. It's something the Polizei want you to keep in mind.
Stay calm, don't panic. The police are ready and able to provide crowd control and ensure that you are safe.
The Polizei can't guarantee our security, but they can guarantee us one thing. They will do everything they can to protect us while entering or exiting U.S. installations. From Mannheim, Germany, Specialist Steve Satkowski, AFN News. From 1933 to 1945, the concentration camp at Dachau housed about 220,000 prisoners. The Nazi regime considered them enemies of the state. The evidence of their mistreatment is immediately evident. As you near the front gates of Dachau, you'll see a memorial plaque in honor of the 20th Armored Division, one of the liberators of Dachau. But as you see the front gate, it reads, Arbeit macht frei, which means work makes you free. From the guards in the prison tower to the symbols worn to rank them, the prisoners were constantly aware of their place. But to recall all that happened here, you must go back to the past. As history has shown, the prisoners were brutally beaten, starved, and treated as subhuman, all because they didn't fit into Adolf Hitler's concept of the master race. Although Dachau was liberated over half a century ago, the pain is still fresh in the minds of some visitors.
I don't think I'd be able to handle all that. I'd be doing whatever I could just to get out.
Before leaving, you can't help but notice the work of art, which represents the bodies of those hoping to escape Dachau, and those whose only escape was into the next world. But the sculpture serves another purpose, to remind those left behind, never forget, never again. From Dachau, Germany, Specialist Steve Satkowski, AFN News. Landstuhl Regional Medical Center is the biggest support hospital in the European Command. It provides care for service members in the region and provides a platform for the evacuation of injured troops in the war on terrorism.
We take them as soon as they can safely move them here, and sometimes when it's not safe, but it's no safer to leave them, and take care of them.
Their stay in Landstuhl is the first step in the recovery process.
Our role is to stabilize and to begin the road to recovery.
The injuries these doctors and nurses see range from shrapnel wounds to the loss of limbs.
My door flew open, and I looked back to see what hit for sure, and it was the car. It was like on fire and burning to the ground. And then I felt like a sharp pinch in my leg, so I reached down to feel where my leg was, and I wasn't there.
You really have to live it to understand it. And so the life that we live day in and day out, I often wonder if the American people really, really, really know what we do and how well we do it.
Once the critically injured are stabilized, they typically get transported back to the States where the rehabilitation process can begin. Army Sergeant Steve Satkowski, Landstuhl.